What's going on, guys? Welcome back to First Generation Farm. Usually we'd be doing BTO next, but we got a lot of corn to chop on this one. So let's head into the field, get the day started, and hopefully start making some money. I don't know exactly how late into the night we are going to be harvesting, but our cattle are doing great. The combine is running strong. This is our first cornfield of the year. We have 4 of them that we need to harvest, and then we're going to help Arthur with his a little later this afternoon or possibly tomorrow. I can tell all the work we've done is starting to pay off. We're a little over halfway around the edge, and we're almost a half a tank. Cattle aren't going to need any food because we are still riding high off of our round bale episode from last time. And speaking of all that, if you guys want to continue to watch this series as it progresses, be sure to head down below, smash that like button, consider subscribing, helping us get into the algorithm, and keep growing the channel. Holy cow! And no, not because there's cows over there. It's been a real exciting season on our farm, and I know it's really only going to get crazier. Some of the goals that I've got within the next 2 seasons is to upgrade our equipment. I know the 1206 is a really strong tractor, but I would like to try and start aiming towards that boxcar Magnum from my neighbor. That would allow us to do some of our own anhydrous work, along with the availability of tillage, fertilizer, and really all of the fixins that come with actually taking care of your own farm ground rather than hiring most of it out. I know you're full, Daryl, hang on. And I guess one way we could technically do all of this is budget out what our upgrades would be. The combine I don't mind as much, so we're not going to worry about anything in this market. But as for our grain handling, if I wanted to get at least the Brent gravity wagon, that would be a little under 31,000, and our tractor would be about 110. So roughly about $141,000. As for the application toolbar, I'd probably want to know if I could even pull the base one. No, I cannot. Okay, so we will still have to have the co-op do that, but I think we could at least side dress. No, we cannot. We are 10 horsepower short. Dang it. But we could spray. That we at least can do. And that's another $130,000, putting us up to about 271. Oh, perfect timing. You just came all the way back around. I'm not exactly sure what this setup is currently worth. I know the wagon's not really worth anything, but the tractor might be worth a couple dollars. Our 1206 can get us 13,000. And the Kill Bros will get us 4. 17 seems a little cheap, especially for the tractor, but I guess this thing is pretty worn. Why don't you guys head down to the comments section and drop what is your favorite brand of corn header. But in general, do you guys have a certain kind of header? Are you more of a factory guy like Case, Deere, New Holland, or are you a specialty person like Geringhoff, Capello, and Drago? I like the look of the Geringhoffs, but I personally think Deere corn headers just look good in general because I am a John Deere guy. We're gonna let Daryl finish up on this farm so that way we can figure out how much grain we'll have. Then we're gonna move to our west, and we might throw up the drone for a little bit. So carry on, Daryl. Well, I necessarily couldn't wait to just dump the corn on the ground 2 seconds ago, but we got 1 and what looks to be 3/4 of a tank out of the 1 plot. And with 3 fields still left to go, which the only one that might be smaller is the one on the other side of the farmyard, every other plot is bigger. Ignore those 2 plots up north, those are Arthur's. But now it's got me curious, which one of these 2 is bigger? 2.5, 2.8. So literally every field is bigger. That is very reassuring. Let's migrate our way to the west. Country roads take me home to the bank where my money doesn't belong. I don't know what I was going for there, but it was a John Denver parody. Leave me alone. And I missed a corn cob. Dang it. I might talk to Arthur again to see if we can't use his versatile to try and do some more primary tillage. I have that case disc, which works fine, but I really want to try and get down into these plots and see how many nutrients we can really dig up, but I do not have a ripper. I could go and buy the DMI from the dealership, but I don't know if the 1206 has the power to do that. Let's double check. 180, 120, no, not even close. Now, if we buy that box car, then we can most certainly pull it, and quite possibly even his bigger one. Nope, never mind. But at least we could do something with primary tillage. So that tractor is going to probably be on my hot list. And in reality, if we need to and we don't have any of the grain storage, I can just rent the one from the co-op to try and do some trucking, because then we're at least working in 1,000 bushel increments. But let's not go down that road, because that road is not very profitable. That one we're just kind of wasting money. Got to be smart with our finances. I can see the corn on top of the hopper. Let's get Daryl emptied out, and then we're going to pop up in the drone, get some more combine shots, and then we'll probably head up to Arthur's here in just a couple minutes. Check on him, see how he's doing, and really find out how much help we need to help him with. No, 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 please empty. Oh, that is one gripe that I have. If you can't empty out the harvester in its entirety without resetting the AI worker, you have to go and empty the cart. That's one of my gripes with this game. Without taking the AI worker off its track, you basically have to go and empty out the wagon and then come back and empty the rest of the combine for it to get going again. I can understand it stopping when the tractor is full and it's still sitting under the wagon, but once it gets far enough away, it should just kick the combine back on. If I had to take a hypothesis on the amount of grain we're going to bring in, I'd say probably close to 3,000. Each hopper that I bring in from this wagon is 300 bushel, and we've already taken in our second one with 2 still large fields to go, plus the rest of this behemoth. Not a real big behemoth, but for my farm, yes, that's one of the big fields. It's better not be like 2 drops worth of corn, otherwise I'm gonna be mad. Anyways, where were we? Oh yes, to the drone.
Man, I always had stories about the city life and the crazy nights. Figure I should probably give it a try. Maybe check it out, see what it's all about.
Something I will miss if I do end up getting rid of this tractor is that it was the first tractor we bought for the farm. And secondly, when I get into any vehicle and I try to tab around, this is the first vehicle you tab to. So that would be very saddening. But I just can't see us really upgrading the tractors without having to get rid of at least one. I'd like to keep the case that I have up at my neighbor's that's still sitting next to the little Farm All H, but it seems more reasonable to keep the smaller case tractor for hay work and upgrade this one than it does to get rid of the case tractor and then move this to there and do the same thing. I'm not too sure. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do we get rid of the 1206 or will we get rid of the case to get the boxcar Magnum? I think that case would probably only be worth like 7,000. 8,000. Oh cool, I get at least $1,000 more than I thought. But that means we lose out on a little over $5,000. That part is not fun. I think it's high time we tailor our way up to Arthur's, go check out his operation, and continue to stop dumping corn off the side of the wagon. Get your head in the game, Buck. Holy cow. Pretty sure out of all the returns we're gonna get, that is gonna be the largest. If I can continue to keep renting out that ground, we are really gonna be able to up our crop input, well, our crop return. I do still believe I'm renting the ground I used for the wheat harvest last year, but I always tend to keep forgetting about that because we had to restart the save game on the new device. I think we missed our window if we wanted to plant winter wheat, but we might be able to plant some spring wheat. Unless we can get, once again, enough money to go ahead and buy our own. Gonna have to talk to the man across the road because I do not have a seed drill. I don't know what happened to the Versatile, but for some odd reason it is doing a wheelie. I would say he's changing his tire, but that would make 0 sense. The semi's on the side of the road, and I don't see the combine. Let me give him a quick call. Oh, there he is. He's on the far side. Let me give him a ring and see what he wants me to do. Hey, Arthur. Yep, just got over here. Where do you need me? Do you have the wagon? Oh, the wagon's up north. Okay, well, am I just supposed to drive the semi then? All right, well, I'll just leave my truck on this side of the field edge if that's fine, unless it needs to go across the road. Okay, I'll move it quick. Don't worry about that. Yep, sounds good. I can hear you. And I probably could see it here in just a second. All right, later. He says usually the guided steering on that gets it pretty far out on the edge of the field. So just put my truck on the other side of the road. But I guess they're doing all of the transportation with the semi because all of his tractors are up at the north plot. For those of you who are asking, who on earth is Arthur? Arthur is my old neighbor buddy who has his own row crop farm on the far northeast side of the map. Like how Grant and Spencer's neighbors in real life are to them, that is how Arthur works with me. I help him out, he helps me out, and we're able to really network our way up the ladder a little faster than most other first generation farms. If you want to make it, you gotta know people. The other major help, of course, has been the co-op, and it looks like Daryl is full on the south side. Pretty sure I left the wagon at the end of the plot. Maybe I'm wrong. 3 dumps from that combine and this trailer will be full. I believe we're supposed to store this in the main elevator, and then we could take a chunk out of this to put it in our bins once we're done. Every time I help Arthur, he gives me a little bit of a portion of the harvest. That way I can get a little extra profit, but he doesn't have to actually write me a check. He just gives me the corn. Still need to get into that seed corn business. That'd be the way to make some money. Problem is that is a very expensive game, which is pretty heavily regulated. If you haven't noticed it yet, this has got to be my favorite semi in American farming. Don't get me wrong, I love a good 389, but the T800 is just a hard body style to beat, especially with it being the shorter frame. If the base game 9000, the one with the really stretched frame, had the shorter wheelbase, I would be using that truck just as much as I use this because of how much I love those body styles. But sadly, this is the only one that I consider to really look like an actual farm truck. Oh, that's right, we're gonna jump in the combine. Arthur, wait up! Now we just gotta drive to the Rose, which is a whole lap around. Okay, I'm gonna go get Daryl emptied out quick, because I know it's not gonna happen unless I do it. Be right back. There we are. Now we're just sucking in the rows. Arthur runs a 12-row Case IH because he has a 36-row planter. That's the one thing I like about his operation, is that even though he has to do 3 headlands with the combine, he at least is able to have a header that matches the rows of his planter. My setup is an 8-row corn head, but planting with a 12-row. So I have to plant 3 headlands in order to do 2 headland passes with the combine. I'd like to get a 16-row planter, that way I can have the right one, but we don't have any options like that in this game. It is either a 12 or a 36, and then the 2 seed drills. Not the end of the world, just sometimes kind of annoying. Just hope I left Arthur enough room to swing around without hitting the trailer. Ooh, nope, 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 nope. Oh, that was a nice little clip. Might have to check the condition of the snoot on the left side. Probably also pop the tire. Look at this monster go. I think if we harvested this with our particular combine, it would be a 25% decrease in speed. I run the 8-row, he runs a 12-row. So if we add 4 more rows, that's not half, that's a quarter. Yeah, that's how math works. I hate math. I hate it with a passion. Why can't I do simple math in my head? Stay in school, kids. It helps your brain. On second thought, do what's best for you. Not everybody's the same. Just ask me. As cool as this is, I think we're going to finish out the rest of this pass, get back in the semi, empty him out one more time, and then we are going to try and finish up the field back at my home front so we can get ready to start moving east. I know Daryl's going to appreciate my help so he's not always having to run back and grab the auger wagon. Gravity wagon. I don't have those fancy auger wagons. What do you think I have? Money? Arthur will be able to take care of himself. He's also got his kids and his grandkids that can help him. I also have a bucket list item to try and buy that bin site set up from Arthur at some point, because the one that is just over by my place, that is a very, very expensive bin site. I think it ranges somewhere around the $150,000 mark, but that's got a lot of fancy stuff, plus it's got bale storage, I believe. I will say it makes for a nice parking lot when you need it to be. It's got one heck of a grain dryer setup, I know that. But here we are, home sweet pineapple. I'd say get the case on the disc, but it's currently on the wagon, so we're gonna have to wait to do our tillage work. Call out the co-op, get the lime ready to go so we can start balancing pH, get ready for next season. Ooh, he's gotten this thing pretty much full. Daryl, you think you got enough in the hopper? You can just top me off? I'm pretty dang close. Alright, sounds good. Just get pipe out and I'll be over there in a second. We didn't have an entire full load when we brought the last hopper into the bin, but sometimes it's easier just to take in a slightly less full load than it is to try and wait for the combine, get some more in the hopper, dump it in the wagon, take more time, blah, 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 blah. It just ain't worth the investment. Alright, here we go. Looking sexy. And we are full. Let's boogie. Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking. I don't know why, but every single time I listen to that song, I am either driving northbound or westbound. So I have to change the song to westbound and down if I'm going west. I never listen to the song while I'm driving east, and it makes me so sad because it gets me up and moving and gets my blood pumping. 1,250 bushels. I'll take it. It'll put us right around 15, maybe a little bit more. Daryl's probably got somewhere around 6 to 7 passes going back and forth left. Probably dramatically less than that. You can cut pretty wide on an 8-row when you think about it. Just always remember to not tow your fully loaded gravity wagon up a hill that it does not have enough power with the tractor. Otherwise, you'll power hop like Grant. Ooh, he will have that many. Dang. We might have to cut it off before the end of the field. Yikes. Other than that, make sure to keep it light, keep it loose, keep it fresh. Most importantly, keep it fun. We shall see you guys all in the next one. This is Squad Farms out. Peace.